Hi guys! Today we'll have a look at some confusing English words that sound exactly the same but have different spelling and meanings. Those words are called homophones. Understanding homophones is essential for mastering your English. My name is Anastasia. You're watching English with LinguaTrip, and let's get started.
Everything's in English.
What would you need to know?
Alright, how did you learn to speak English?
Let's start with a very simple word, be. Be as in a verb, to be, and bee as an insect. This is busy as a bee.
Yay, may a bee, may a bee.
An important thing here though is that the verb to be, even though the full form is be, when we say it in a sentence, usually we don't put a lot of stress on it, so usually it sounds a lot shorter. For example, if you want to say, I want to be a superstar, you don't say, I want to be a superstar. I want to be a superstar. So it's always shorter when it's the verb. Of course, separately, it's a long sound, be, but when it's in a sentence, the verb will always be shorter.
I want to be king.
The next one is beat. Beat as in to beat somebody up.
I finally beat you! Beat you!
Beet in this case we spell with EA, and with two E's is going to be a vegetable. Beet, a beetroot. You know, we make borscht, which is a typical Russian and Ukrainian soup, with beetroot, or beet for short.
Beat.
The next pair, which may be surprising for some of you, is break. Break, as many of us are used to, is a word that we spell with EA. That means a pause. For example, a lesson has a break when people can go have a coffee break. Or to break something means to separate the parts of that or to ruin something.
Break it down.
Okay, that word we're familiar with. But if you're driving a car, for example, and you need to stop, you also brake. But in this case, we spell it A-K-E. Break. Now let's see. Two verbs. To break something and to brake, as in to stop a car, for example. The past tense of the first break is going to be broke. I broke my toy.
Sorry I broke your toy.
Brake, as in to stop a car, is going to be braked. It's a regular verb, so that's a good way of remembering the difference as well. Of course, the brake is the part of the car that causes it to stop. Have a look at this example. Let's take a break and have a look what happened to the brake. The next one is buy. To buy something means to get a thing or a service in exchange for money. B-U-Y.
I buy 1% milk.
Or buy, saying goodbye.
Bye!
The opposite of the verb to buy is sell. Correct. Sell as a verb, meaning to give some goods in exchange for money, we spell with letter S.
Sell!
If you spell it with letter C, sell, it means a small particle that everything consists of. You know, a little cell with a nucleus inside, something that is studied in biology, for example.
It's a huge individual brain cell.
Or a cell can be a cell in a prison, you know, is the room where people stay in prison. That one is with letter C.
In my prison cell.
The next one is cent. If we spell it just with letter C, cent, it is, you know, a unit of currency. $1 is 100 cents.
99 cents store?
So if you add letter S at the start, we're not going to make two sounds there. Even though we write SC, we also say scent. It means smell. You know, you can walk into a room and say, I like the scent, meaning I like the smell.
I recognize your scent.
The next word is course. Of course, you know the word course from the educational environment, right? An English course, another kind of course that you take to learn something new, and you spell it with OU in the middle.
I'm gonna take a college course.
If you spell it with OA, it means if something is coarse, like material is coarse, it means it's quite rough if you touch it.
I'm afraid it is a little coarse.
Guys, if you want to get rid of annoying mistakes in English in just a few minutes a day, I highly recommend downloading our ebook. It's called -365 Mistakes Per Year. This book is designed for easy learning. You can devote only 3 to 5 minutes every day for this book. Do you think it's not enough? Well, in a year, it will amount to 30 hours. It's almost like an English course. And after that, there will be a lot fewer mistakes in your speech. You will not be able to find a resource like that anywhere else. You can be sure we know how to help you develop a habit of learning English every day and enjoy it. The link is down below. Compliment. In one of our past videos, we talked in more detail about the difference between compliment with an I and compliment with an E, but actually to compliment somebody with letter I means to say something nice to that person.
Compliment her.
And if you say compliment with an E, it means to add something. This wine complements the dinner very well. It makes a nice combination.
Cool tones complement her skin.
Q. This is our next word. And of course, some of you English learners probably thought, what is this weird word that you spell Q-U-E-U-E? Oof. That's pronounced as Q, mostly used in British English when we're talking about a line in which you're standing when you're waiting for your turn, for example, in a shop or anywhere else. So that's Q.
That's our cue. Come on, Peaches.
Or there is another word, Q, that you spell C-U-E, and it can mean different things. First of all, it can mean, you know, this long stick that people use when they play snooker. Or Q can be a signal for example, an actor to start their role. You know, that's your cue. Now you start your role in a theatre or in a film.
What's my cue?
The next word is a bit sad, to die. Die, of course, people die when they stop living, or it can be used metaphorically. You know, my feelings died for that person. Still quite sad.
Die.
Or to dye my hair, you know. I sometimes dye my hair means I change the color of my hair.
The hair dye.
In this case, we spell dye with a Y in the middle, or a hair dye, you know, the color, the hair color is also sometimes called hair dye with Y in the middle. But if we're talking about life and death, dye will be with an I in the middle. Don't confuse these two. Maybe you've heard such a phrase as a flea market. You know, it's a market where people sell old things, vintage things, and you can buy them really cheaply there. So flea with an EA at the end. Actually, flea means a little insect that sometimes dogs have, you know, they get really itchy. So flea is one of those insects.
A dog would not invite a flea.
To flee with double E at the end means to run away. In the past tense, it's going to be fled. Somebody can flee the country, for example, if they need to escape, they need to go to a safe place. So yeah, flee.
I'm gonna flee!
Since we already spoke a little bit about hair, hair is also a homophone. Hair is something that we have on our body, especially on our heads, hopefully. And hair, in this case, we spell with A-I-R.
Hair.
But if you spell with A-R-E, hair, it's a name of an animal. You know, an animal with 2 long ears, a little bit like a rabbit, but not quite. It's like a wild rabbit. No, not. People who are into biology are gonna hate me for that. Sorry, it's a different animal, but you know, it kind of looks a little bit similar. Long ears, running really fast. That's hair.
Now the hair!
Okay, let's move on before I confuse too many kinds of animals. The next word is to hear. This is what we do with our ears. We can hear.
Here.
And the homophone is here. I'm here.
Here!
So when we're talking about our ability, we spell the word here with E-A-R, here. And about a place, it's E-R-E. Let's have a look at an example. I can't hear you. Are you here? Imagine it's in the dark. Let's move on. The next word is hole. A hole, if you spell it with an H at the start, is, you know, something has a hole in it. You have a piece of paper and there is a little hole in it. So that's a hole.
I'm digging a hole. A hole?
If you add W at the start, we're not going to pronounce the W. It's going to be the same whole, but it's going to mean something is complete, you know? I have a whole bag of apples.
Whole package.
So whole means complete, and whole without a W means, you know, a whole. The next pair of homophones is hour. Hour, when we talk about time, 1 hour is 60 minutes and we spell it with an H at the start. This H is silent, we don't pronounce it. Hour.
3 hour lunch, 3 hour lunch, 3 hour lunch.
The other meaning of the word hour, but in this case without the letter H at the start, means something that belongs to us. You know, we are, or we say royal we the queen, or we, my friends and I, we, and this is our house. So our and our.
In our house.
Have a look at the example. Our house will be sold in an hour. The next pair of words is main. Main can be that something is the most important, you know, this is the main street, the biggest street, or something has the first place or a more important role. It's the main, something, the main course. You know, if you go to the restaurant, it's the biggest course. In this case, you will spell it with A-I in the middle.
Main Street.
But if you spell this word with A-N-E, main, that means is the hair of a lion, you know? Male lions have a mane on their heads, and that's what differentiates them from female lions or lionesses. So male lions have a mane.
Messing up my mane.
The next word is meat. If we spell it with EA, meat is something that we eat. You know, is food that comes from animals.
Meat.
Meet with 2 E's is a verb and it means to see somebody.
A terrible way to meet.
Sometimes, and I've seen, I think, at least in a couple of different countries, where they use this pair of words in restaurant names. For example, you have a restaurant that serves steak and you can name it the meeting place. Meeting, where you can meet people, but you can spell meeting with EA. Of course, it's grammatically incorrect, but in this case, for example, as a restaurant name, it attracts attention. So don't confuse these 2 words. To meet, 2 E's, and meet. And a little example for you. Every time we meet, he orders fish, but not meat. The next pair of words is night. Night, as in the darker part of a day.
Night.
And night with a letter K at the beginning is, you know, the knight in shining armor, those medieval men who were riding horses and they were wearing the armor and had swords. There we go, that's a knight.
Night.
And an example for you. Tomorrow night, we're going to the knights tournament. Right, the next pair is, pair. So pair, if spelled with A-I-R, means 2 of something, a couple or 2 objects, a pair of trousers, a pair of scissors.
2 pair.
But if you spell it with E-A-R, it's a kind of fruit.
Pear jam.
The next word is right. Right can mean right the opposite of wrong or right the opposite of left. So that's my right hand.
Right hand.
And the homophone would be to write. So I write with my right hand. Some of you maybe are left-handed, but I'm right-handed, so I write with my right hand.
Don't forget to write. That's right, don't forget to write.
For example, with this video, you'll be able to write the homophones in the right way. Okay, the next pair of words is waist. Waist, if spelled with AI in the middle, is the, what do you call it? It's like the center line of our body where we put, you know, where the top of the trousers or our skirts is, that's our waist.
Waist.
And waste is when we throw something away. It's a waste, or to waste something.
Waist.
For example, to keep my waist thin, I don't waste too much on junk food. Another interesting homophone is which. Which, if we spell it with H and without T, it's a pronoun. For example, I have 2 pills, a red one and a blue one. Which will you choose?
Which one will be up to you?
Or if we take out the H and add T, is a witch, you know, a witch in a hat, a character that appears at Halloween. So yeah, that's a witch.
Witch.
And there is a nice tongue twister for you. If 2 witches were watching 2 watchers, which witch would watch which watch? Your turn to repeat that. So this tongue twister is fun because there are so many homophones. Which. The next word is wine. Wine is a drink.
Wine here, get your wine.
And to whine means to complain about something, you know, like to cry. He's always whining.
Wine, wine, wine.
Stop whining, let's drink some wine. Not encouraging you, it's just an example. And the last one for today, to wear. To wear clothes, for example.
Wear it.
And wear, if we're talking about a place. See the difference in the spelling. And I'll give you a little example. I don't know where to wear this dress. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video and now you know a little bit more about homophones and you're not going to make the same mistakes again. So don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to English with LinguaTrip, and I'll see you next time.